Hi, everybody. We're now going to be talking about the very important System of Support log, or SOS log. Mentors in the induction program need to be providing candidates an average of not less than 1 hour per week of individualized support, which is either coordinated or directly provided by the mentor. So, we're going to break down what each one of those terms means so you understand what your responsibilities are with a mentor and what you're going to be updating in that log. First, let's talk about direct support. This is probably what you are most familiar with because this is the support you are providing directly to the candidate. It could be your face to face meetings. This could be observations. It could be virtual meetings. It could be email exchanges in which you two are co collaborating on a document asynchronously. Whenever you provide direct support, you're going to want to update your system of support log. Now, coordinated support is what happens when you, as a mentor, are going to make a clear connection between the candidate you're supporting and the other forms of support they are receiving. You, as a mentor, don't have to explicitly arrange these meetings, but you need to have knowledge of them and you need to make sure your candidate is finding these relationships supportive. Some basic places to start would be thinking about, are they meeting with their department chairs? Are they meeting with their professional learning communities or grade level teams? Oh, do they have university supervisors that they're still meeting with? And so here's some examples of coordinated support, and here are some non examples. I would take a moment, pause the video, and read through the examples and the non examples. Just remember, the idea is that you have knowledge of support your candidate is receiving from other people, and you're documenting that support and you're checking in with them. So when you go to your actual system of support log, this coordinated support is documented in the orange box. So you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a list of different types of support they could be receiving. They probably aren't getting support in all of these areas, but it's to prompt you, the mentor, to think about how often do they have department meetings? When are their learning teams meeting? All of those are examples of support they're receiving outside of your relationship that help them get good at their job and help them feel like they're supported in their profession. Here's one example of how a mentor filled out the coordinated system of support. Here you have a second example. And when it comes to support offered, these are just some general broad statements. So now let's talk about what you're more familiar with, which is the direct support. There's a part of your SOS that looks like this. And this is where you're going to be documenting the direct support you're providing to your mentee. On the left-hand side, these are some pretty straightforward prompts. They're like check-in questions that you should be asking every time you meet with the teacher. What's going well? What's a challenge? When it comes to the just-in-time coaching, we need to demonstrate that the mentee has some agency in the support they're receiving. In other words, the mentor is not always driving the topics, but that the teacher they're supporting has an opportunity to ask for or request help in specific areas. So here's an example of how one of our mentors used their system of support log. And this is about the level of detail that you should be providing in the system of support log if you're using it to document your check ins with your mentees. So, some of you are also instructional coaches for the mentee, and you may be wondering, this feels like a lot of documents. I have the system of support log, I have my instructional coaching collaboration log. I suggest that you just make your system of support log the collaboration log that you're using with your teacher. The system of support log is shared between you, the candidate, and me. What I am going to be looking at the system of support logs for is I'm checking to make sure support is happening on a regular basis. I look for broad themes as to what our new teachers look like they're struggling with in general. And I also look at the types of coordinated support teachers are receiving. A system of support log would never be shared with an evaluating administrator. This is a great time to pause the video and go ahead and complete making copies of your system of support log. So you're going to want to make a copy of that SOS log for each induction teacher you support. When you've created it, go ahead and make it visible to both me and the teacher. And you're going to turn this in using the Google form which is happens to be your second assignment in Canvas. Every time you update that system of support log document, it's going to automatically update what I see on my end because you're submitting the URL for a live Google document.